Picture this. It's the early 2000s and a new Batman musical is in the works. But this wasn't just any musical. It was a dark, gothic rock opera from the mind of Jim Steinman, who was one of my favorite songwriters. He was, after all, the man who gave us Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell and Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart. Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, it almost was. For a while there, Batman the Musical was shaping up to be a pretty darn big deal. Warner Brothers was backing the project, hoping to give Disney a run for its money on Broadway. The team they put together was a dream team. Jim Steinman was writing the music and lyrics. David Ives was handling the story. And to top it all off, Tim Burton, yes, the director of the 1989 Batman film, he was supposed to direct. Steinman's grand, theatrical style seemed like it was going to be a perfect match for Gotham City. He had a knack for creating these sweeping, dramatic stories, and he wanted the musical to feel just like Burton's films. Dark, gothic, and surprisingly funny. It was a project he was absolutely passionate about, and some of the songs he wrote for it, they even found their way into some of his other work, like Bat Out of Hell the Musical. Having Tim Burton on board was a major coup. He had already defined the look and feel of a whole generation's Batman. Steinman said it was his dream to have Burton direct. After the show was canceled, there were rumors that Burton wasn't much of a fan of musicals anyway, though he did go on to direct Sweeney Todd, so who knows. The story that they were cooking up was a fascinating twist on the Batman lore. Maybe a little too twisty if you ask me, but here's what they were thinking. It brought Batman and Catwoman's origins together in a new way. In this version, a young Selina Kyle actually saw the Joker murder Bruce Wayne's parents. And this shared trauma would have connected them for life, creating a dark and complicated romance between their alter egos. The musical was set to explore how they both dealt with that loss, walking the line between good and evil. Thanks to some demo recordings that Steinman later shared, we have a pretty good idea what the show would have sounded like. The opening numbers, Vespers, the Song of Gotham City, and the Graveyard Shift were meant to be a showstopper. It would have started with church bells and the haunting choir before Batman appeared on a rooftop, singing about his life's work in the shadows, calling it the Graveyard Shift. You can hear Steinman himself playing the piano on the demo, apparently hitting the keys with his forearms, creating this thunderous sound. Then you have the Joker's big song, Wonderful Toys. It was described as both creepy and hilarious, a perfect fit for the character. It was planned for a scene where he was going to take over a museum, much like the 1989 movie, wondering aloud where Batman gets all his wonderful toys. Catwoman was given a powerful solo called Catwoman's Song. The subtitle is I Need All the Love I Can Get. And she would have sung it alone in a jewelry store surrounded by glittering gems. The lyrics touched on her witnessing the Wayne murders as a child and her desperate need to hold on to beautiful things as a way to cope with the memory of that sudden loss. One of the most heart-wrenching moments would have been We're Still the Children We Once Were. The plan was for a quartet with Batman holding a dying Catwoman as the ghosts of their younger selves. A terrified little Bruce and Selina sang with them about being lost children, unable to find their way home. Other songs like In the Land of the Pig, The Butcher is King, took aim at Gotham's corrupt elite, while a duet for Batman and Catwoman called Not Allowed to Love explored the impossible nature of their relationship. So what happened? Why did a show with so much potential, so much promise, never see the light of day? It was supposed to open around 2001, but the date kept getting pushed back until it was quietly canceled. The most common story is that another one of Steinman's shows, Dance of the Vampires, didn't do all that well on Broadway, and the financial backers were getting a bit nervous. It's also possible that Warner Brothers didn't want the musical competing with their next big film, Batman Begins, which was coming out in 2005. In the end, it's one of those great what-ifs of theater history. while we'll likely never see it on stage, listening to the demos gives you a real sense of what it could have been. A powerful and a truly different take on The Dark Knight. It's a shame it never happened, but the story behind it remains a fascinating piece of Batman history. The good news is that you can listen to some of the music, those Steinman demos that I've mentioned in this video, right here on YouTube. It's just one little bat search away. Go ahead and do it. I'm done here. Thanks so much for watching.